Imagine this. You're watching the team that you love slowly going from winning everything to becoming a mediocre team. The situation is so bad that the manager gets fired and you have the chance to help your team become the best again. And that's what you do. You take the team from the ninth position and almost becoming another Man United or AC Milan to second place. And next year you win the league after your biggest star left just 2 years prior. And a lot of people told you that the team couldn't win without him. But fast forward 1 year and you're fired because you didn't win any trophy. Yes, just 1 year later and you're watching your beloved team from TV again. Oh, did I forget to mention that you're one of the biggest legends in the history of your club? Well, yeah. But really, after Xavi stopped Barca from becoming the next Man United, you still don't give him another chance? And why was there so much toxicity in just 1 year? Was the season so bad that it's normal that some fans hated him? For years, Barcelona was on a downward spiral where the lowest point put Barca on the 9th position of La Liga. So with those results, the president didn't have any other option but to sack the coach Ronald Koeman. And that was the moment Xavi came to try to fix the situation. But why was the team playing so bad? Well, because it didn't have a system or style to play. When Barca won every trophy you could win, they had this system called Juego de Posición or Tiki-Taka. But as the years went on, it became something you could call Messi ball. As the name says, the system had just one rule: give the ball to Messi and he will do the rest. And no, I'm not saying he wasn't important before. He was the biggest star of the system, but he wasn't the whole system. With Messi ball, yes, he had some key players that helped him, but he pretty much did everything.
And what happens when you take the foundation out of the team?
After Messi left, the team didn't have either their best player or a plan. Now Xavi needed to build a team from zero, teach the players the fundamentals of the club play style, while at the same time take the team from the 9th place to top 4 at least. And he didn't only do that, but next season they won La Liga after 3 years of not winning it and 2 years after Messi left. I mean, it wasn't an easy process. The team got knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League. But, Barca not only was unlucky to face a strong Bayern Munich and Internazionale, and they reached the Champions League final. And also our top 3 center backs got injured at the same time, so we have to face Inter with Eric and Gerard Piqué. And Eric is a good center back, but at the time he didn't have the confidence that he has now. And then you go and pair him with Piqué, then, well, he retired not even a month after this game. So it's not like he was in his prime. And yes, we got knocked out in La Copa del Rey by Real Madrid, and in a pretty ugly way. To be fair, we had some important players injured, but after all, Xavi made a team from scratch. And yeah, maybe it took time, but at least he built an actual team that showed the fans that they could compete and win. They did it because there was actually a system where the core of it was their defensive strength. We had one of our best seasons on defense, conceding only 20 goals, and compared with other years, and look how crazy that is. And in the last 4 games, where we were already champions, we conceded 6 goals, which means that in 34 games we only conceded 14 goals. And no, that doesn't mean Xavi was parking the bus like Simeone. The team was pressing with a lot of intensity when they lost the ball. They had intensity every game, with the ball, without it, and getting back quickly to defend counterattacks. That was the key to why that team worked. Intensity not only physically, but mentally. The team was always really focused. The key players were Pedri, Dembélé, Busquets, and Xavi as a winger. Of course, Xavi took some time to figure out the team that actually worked. I mean, if Guardiola struggled in his first year with Man City, even though he's one of the best managers in history and he had an infinite money glitch, well, I guess it was reasonable for Xavi to take some time to figure out the team, and he did it. When everyone was healthy, this was the lineup: the always great Ter Stegen, the epic back who were really strong on defense, Busquets, who was really important with the ball and without the ball, De Jong and Pedri in the midfield, Xavi that helped a lot pressing the opponent, Dembélé that was really important because he's super skillful. Now everyone notices that Xavi was right all along, but a lot of people mocked him because he said this.
Creo que la gente no conoce a Ousmane Dembélé, no lo conoce. Es muy futbolero, es una persona muy inteligente y tiene unas condiciones que a mí me gustan mucho. Me gusta, es un futbolista diferencial. Para mí el potencial es tremendo. Él ya lo sabe, tiene mi total confianza ciega y es un futbolista muy básico para mi modelo de juego.
And Lewandowski, one of the best strikers in history. So whoa, after a long time, now you have a team that works. If there's not a lot of injuries, this team shows a lot of promise. Now it's just a matter of time for this team to become even better. What could go wrong?
No. Wait.
Oh yeah, you remember how I said that Dembélé and Busquets were really important players? Yeah, well, both of them left the team. And it's like, bro, what you doing? Xavi was the first one to believe in you, and after so many disappointing seasons full of injuries. And he pushed against the club that wanted you to spend the rest of the season without playing, but he said no. He believed in you and you backstab him and just leave. Like, bro, why? Oh, and do you remember how strong our defense was with the powerful back? Well, Koundé didn't want to play as a fullback, even though he has the potential to be the best fullback in the world. Like, bro, Knight just looks ugly. Whoa. And do you remember how I said something about not having a lot of injuries? Yeah, so Dembélé is gone, Bus is gone. Xavi that was really important playing as a winger now had to replace Busquets. And well, he was doing a decent job by pure energy and commitment. But then he gets injured playing for Spain and can't play for the rest of the season. Valde, a ton of injuries. Koundé didn't want to play as a fullback, so our back is gone. Frankie injured, Pedri injured. And the problem with Pedri injuries is not only the game that he misses, is that they don't let him reach his prime or his best level. Because he starts getting momentum, with every game he starts to feel better, his confidence rises, every action gets more automatic, and suddenly you have to start again. With Xavi, even though Pedri played some games, they weren't at the same level as Pedri in the last season, where he didn't have major injuries. Okay, so a lot of important players were out or not able to play, so Barca bought important players to replace them, right? Well, Barca spent just 3.4 million euros on one player. Look, Chelsea alone spent 464 million euros. Real Madrid spent 159 million euros. So this is quite a long story, but for some stupid reason, Barca could not spend as much money as they needed. Therefore, they could only get loan players or free agents, and Romeo. And let's be real, Romeo didn't even get a little bit closer to Busquets. He wasn't up to the task. The Joaos, well, they started good, but their level went down rapidly. I mean, Cancelo was good when attacking, but in defense, he was horrendous. And look, I love the passion for the team like any other fan, but Jesus, bro, like how? And look, Valde is not an expert in defense, but if we compare him with Cancelo, he makes Valde look like prime Puyol. João Felix, well, I want to talk about him in another time because it's unbelievable how good he can be and so bad. Obviously, Koundé and Inigo were good, but they weren't what Xavi wanted. And that's the point. Xavi couldn't have the team that he wanted. When he had a good team, right away he had to change it. He said if Bussy leaves, a top defensive midfielder has to come. And they brought Romeo. He wanted Bernardo Silva and he got João Felix. He also wanted players to stay in the club like Aubameyang, Kessie, Nico Gonzalez, Dembélé, and of course, Busquets. But all of them left. You know, when you think about Xavi's last season, it's remembered as a really bad one. And yes, there were some bad moments because the intensity wasn't the same as the year before. I know there were some bad games, but there were also some good ones. So there were a lot of handicaps like I said before. And Xavi, despite all of that, tried to make a good team. He tried, he really did. He tried using different options or different starting 11s. He tried using Romeo, he tried using the Joaos. He tried using two fullbacks that were really dangerous in the attacking phase. In the right back, he even tried using Sergio Roberto, Araujo, Cancelo, until he convinced Koundé to go back to play as a fullback. He tried using Xavi as a kind of defensive midfielder until he got injured, and he even tried using Cancelo as a winger until he started figuring something out. And to begin with, he convinced Koundé to go back to the right back. He started using Cubarsí. Also, he started using Christensen as a defensive midfielder. And he started using Raphinha as a left winger. This helped the team be more competitive. But it wasn't enough. At that point, there was a ton of hatred against Xavi. 20 bad games would result in him getting sacked.
Don't let me leave, Murph! Don't let me leave, Murph! No! 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 No!
Then they lost to Madrid, and that practically sealed Xavi's fate. Before I forget about this, I love Laporta and what he's doing with the club, but if there was ever something to complain about, is the way that they treated Xavi. I mean, Xavi says, "I think the best for the club is for me to leave." That was in January. Then the team improves and they decide that he has to stay. But then, after not winning, they decide to kick him out. Like, what the fuck? And like I said, I think Laporta is doing a great job. He brought Flick. Don't worry, I'll talk about him in a moment. But you know, Laporta is also working with a lot of disadvantages, and still he's doing a great job. But you can't treat a legend like Xavi in that way. Anyways, I hope he continues being the president and keeps the good work. So was Xavi's last season bad? Well, let's look how many points the team got in the league. Hey, 85 points, that's good. I mean, a season prior, the team won the title with 88 points. One before that, when the team got 73 points. So it's clear the team improved from season to season. And yeah, the team got a little bit less points, but competed better in the Champions League. And of course, with Flick, they got even better. But there wasn't a big difference in points despite all the handicaps that Xavi had that season. So why were some fans such haters of Xavi's work? I know there were some games that the team played badly or made dumb mistakes, but why were they so critical of him? And I think the reason was that they compared the team with this one. And I know they are a rival, but some guys freak out way too much if they win. The important thing is to focus on what the team is succeeding at and not comparing with others. And also, I think it's not fair because the season that Xavi won La Liga, who were they competing with? Another team that is starting from 0-2? Nope. 1 year before they won La Liga and the Champions League, they were in a rebuilding phase like Barca is. And it's just unfair. Like, imagine this case. You start to go to the gym. It's your first day, and you see some dudes lifting some heavy weights. So what do? You start with the same weight as them or something lighter? Well, obviously you start with the same weight as them if you want to break your back. It's like, bro, why would you do that? They have more experience, more time training, and let's be honest, obviously they're natural. Just look at them. Nothing weird is going on. They just love chicken, rice, and broccoli. The best thing that you can do is stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on what you're doing a good job and how you can improve. And maybe you're wondering, if Xavi was so good, why is Flick doing a better job? What did I say about comparisons? I'm joking. That's a good question. I was just trying to say that what others do shouldn't affect what you think about your own progress. Anyway, here's the thing. Flick is doing astonishingly good. Like, I know what he did at Bayern was amazing, but I didn't think he was gonna be this good this quickly. Because you know, maybe his style was too risky, maybe they don't like him. A lot could have gone wrong, but it didn't. Now when we lose the ball, we press like crazy, and with Xavi we pressed, but with Flick he's on another level. We're scoring a ton of goals. When the team is focused, they are always better than the opponent. Our players are doing magic most of the games, and we're playing beautiful football. Man, I love Flick, and I hope he stays for a lot of years. Well, Flick had the advantage that Xavi received a lot of toxicity that comes from people that is not patient enough, because when you're building something new, not everything is gonna go well. Also, Flick had Pedri for the whole season, and a lot of people now notice how good he is, but let me tell you something, Xavi would have sold his own kidney to get this Pedri that can play every game like in the last season. But still, even if Xavi didn't have all that toxicity around him, or he had this pedigree, I'm not sure that he could have taken the team to last season's level. So that means that Xavi was awful? No, of course not. I think he did a good job. And just because Flick is doing something that is impressive, it doesn't mean that Xavi did a bad job. As a matter of fact, he did an excellent job if we add the context. People don't appreciate what he did. He came when no one wanted to come. There was no system, no money, no pitches. He had to pay from his own money so he could be released from his former club, came to a club that paid him less, and when he left, he could have done like other managers and asked for the money of the compensation fee, but he didn't, because he doesn't want to affect the club negatively. He's not only a Barca legend, he's a Barca fan. You know, I always be grateful for what he did at this club as a player and as a coach. He helped with the foundation of the new era. Just look at the current team. He brought Yamal to the first team when he had Raphinha in that position, and he wanted him to play even earlier, but the club told him to wait till they could extend his contract. He convinced Raphinha that he could play very well in other positions, just like he did with Koundé. He gave Balde opportunities to play while still using Jordi Alba, and he gave a lot of playtime to Cubarsí, Ferran, Fermín, Xavi, Valde, and a ton of players that will help the team hopefully for a lot of years. Xavi won La Liga after a lot of people said that without Messi, we would have never won something again. He helped the team just like he did before becoming a manager. And you know, for some players you can watch some clips and understand why they were so good, and with Xavi this is the case. But when you watch the whole game, you really know why he's such a big legend. You needed to see the whole picture to notice why he was so good, and that's what I'm asking you to do now. Look at the bigger picture and see what he did for the team. Xavi helped the team that was close to become a mediocre one, and like he did many years before, maybe he didn't score, but he did everything he could so the team could win. He gave us his last assist.